Hi, welcome back to the Two Yachts for a Saint podcast. Myself, Gaz, Carl, and Jordan, powered by Acorn Joinery Leeds. Um, it's time. After 22 years, boys, the Ashes are finally here this weekend. What are we saying?
Come on, Cal.
Well, I'm excited, but also cautious because obviously we know the threat of the Aussies. It's been that long where we've had, the Ashes, and we obviously want to have a good dig at them, don't we? We'll get into it a bit later on in the pod in terms of squads and all the rest of it. I'm hoping I'm wrong, but I just feel like we haven't got the best possible squad in place. But like I say, we'll delve into it a bit later on.
That's it. I mean, we've had a couple of cracks from in tournament rugby, but yeah. So we've been no Super League games now. Obviously, after OKR won the lot, so straight into the news round, Cal.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. Yeah, we're going to concentrate on the Ashes, but we have got multiple news to discuss very briefly. So as we're watching this, and this will be released, we all knew a few days ago that the Super League will be turning into a 14-team structure. Some surprises with the three teams obviously announced was York, Toulouse, and Bradford. I know Jordan's absolutely buzzing with Bradford because he gets his derby. Toulouse are there because they obviously won the game in terms of grand final, championship grand final, and York deserved to be there because they finished top of the pile and they won the cup in that division, didn't they? I mean, are they the right three teams for you very quickly, Gaz?
Yeah, I think it's going to sound controversial, but there's method to me madness. You've got first, second, and third in the championship have all been promoted. Now, for me, that makes sense. There's arguments
Mm.
about Odsal Stadium, but again, people are just crying out for things to be done on merit, and there you go. Top three have gone up.
What are you thinking, Jordan, in terms of them three teams?
Yeah, no, I agree with what Gaz is saying. On merit, yeah, like I say, the top three have gone up, so it's done properly, and I suppose it's just obviously that question mark on London, wasn't it? I feel like they were maybe rushing to get everything sorted to try and maybe nick that spot. But then, like I was saying to you guys weeks ago, excuse me, it were going to be one of those things where one of the teams were going to be upset that they have been picked. So I think you can't argue with the top three because at least it's deserved and it makes sense. Because like I said, didn't you say London finished seventh or something this season? So it would have been random
Yeah.
for London to just go up. But yeah, I like that. I'm still a bit iffy with to lose having two French teams in. I don't know how that's going to go down, but we'll see. I think I'm excited that we've got some fresh teams in there, some new names that haven't been in there before. I'm excited to see York. They're probably one of me out of the three. They're the ones that I'm more excited to see. Is York? See how
Yeah,
York get on.
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
looking forward to
definitely.
York away, to be honest.
Excuse me. Yeah, definitely, lads. I think well, as we discussed previous, building up to the 26 campaign, I think we'll do a more of an in-depth pod in terms of the newly promoted sides. The next piece of news, while we're on the Bradford discussion, they've announced that halfback Ron Milnes he puts pen to paper for 2 years at the club. He is a Bradford lad, so he's joining his boyhood team, ex Rovers, ex Cass. He has got a good kicking game, etc. So, as a newly promoted team, he'll be a good acquisition for them. Bradford again recently announced, well, within the last couple of hours, they announced the signing of Ethan Ryan. Again, Bradford lad. We had him at Rovers for a bit. Gives you a lot on the wing. Played for Salford and a couple of other teams. So he goes back home. He signed a 3-year deal with Bradford. Yeah, so as much as it pains me with Bradford because I don't, they won't have been my first choice. They are making strides. So fair play to them. Hopefully they can make them sustainable and they're there for the long future. Bit of news in terms of St Helens, Gaz. Paul Rowley signed as head coach till 2028. It's got to
Yeah,
be a positive signing for you guys.
yeah, I'm happy with that. As I was saying to Jordan before we came on we played Salford in a pre-season game. It was Morgan Rose testimonial, and they absolutely. You can say it's a friendly, whatever, but they played us off the park. So I've seen what Paul Rowley can do with a good team and a good setup. I mean, there's a bit of an asterisk on last season because of everything else because going on behind the scenes and players in and out and 70 odd bloody squad numbers. You know what I mean? You can't organise anything with that. But I'm excited to see what he brings now.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan. Regarding, there's no doubt that he's a good coach. My only concern, well, very small concern, would be with that is a lot of the teams that he's taken charge of before sort of been underdogs. St Helens are one of the biggest clubs in England. They come with an expectation. They come with, they know they're going to sign the better players, so to speak. So it'll be totally different circumstances for Rolls going in there and taking over a champion team that just needs a bit more direction. I mean, do you think that'll be an issue for them, for Jordan and Rowley in particular?
I don't actually. I don't. Like I say, we would. Brian McDermott were managing London Broncos. Tony Smith were managing Huddersfield. They weren't doing anything with the teams. Yet they come and signed for Leeds, and look what they did with Leeds. So for me, Paul Rowley's that coach that he's been unlucky with the teams he's had, but he's not had the funds. He's you know what I mean? It's not gone well with him there. But I personally feel like Gaz was saying about how good they played it pre-season. Like we all know, Paul Rowley's a good coach. I honestly don't think he's going to have an issue. I think he's going to make Saints exciting next year. I think they're going to be more attacking. It's interesting to see what sort of signings he's thinking of. Because obviously, most people just decide to go NRL and bring some Aussies and Kiwis over. It'd be exciting to see if he's going to maybe sign some Super League players instead, to kind of see how that's going to go. But I don't think he's going to have an issue. I think Saints are going to do well next year. I really do.
Well, as we're going to go into shortly, there's a list of free agents who have left Salford, so he could even grab one or two of them, even though we've already got two from Salford already. But I'm gutted for him. I am gutted for Salford. I hate taking players from clubs when they're struggling and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they need to get paid. They've got mouths to feed, haven't they, these players?
Yeah, that's
and the coach as well.
It'll be definitely one to watch. Another bit of St Helens news. Quick question, Gaz. What beer did they serve at the now not totally wicked?
What I mean, before the announcement or after?
Before it.
Before it was Carlin Madry, Kingston Press Cider. They had a neck oil on one kiosk.
Right. So
and Saints all bitter.
So there was plenty of selection prior to this announcement. I mean,
yeah.
you may as well start throwing Carlin over your plants in the garden because it's like what's of that stuff.
I wouldn't even do that to the plants.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to get at with this is St Helens obviously have a new stadium sponsor and it's Brewdog. I mean, so surely that, it's a worldwide company as far as I know. It's going to put Saints on the map and probably give them some more choices within the ground in terms of alcohol.
Yeah, so not only is it the stadium naming rights, they've also got the pouring rights. So the selection of Brewdog beers will be throughout the bars and the kiosks and throughout the whole stadium. And also any events going on in and around the stadium, they're going to have Brewdog there sorting things out, and also match day experience stuff, which is what we're crying out for. So they must have been listening if that's the way they're going. And also the Red V Bar on the outside of the stadium, they're renovating that. So I imagine that's going to be like a mini Brewdog bar, I imagine.
So they're investing out there for the next few seasons. I mean, it's a big thing, but it's obviously needed, and they're a decent sized brand. So there's obviously a bit of money being thrown at Saints. So fair play to them for that one. Next bit of news, Jordan. Jack Sinfield's rumoured to sign for Wakefield Trinity. I didn't really see that one coming. I thought they might have given him a bit more time and thought of, we'll give you a bit of a shot over the next couple of years and see if you can break your way into the team. Or is it, in your opinion, is it just a case of Connor and Brodie Croft are there, so it's going to be very difficult for him, and he's sort of, knows that, and that's why he's looking at moving on.
He's certainly that float between, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm not at all shocked. I saw it coming, realistically. it's one of those things where for him to excel his career, he can't be playing every other game. I understand, you know, you got to play Crofton Connor. You've got to. I personally felt like he could have had more game time, as like when Ackers were injured. We've had him off at bench before and playing hooker and helping O'Connor out. That would have, I 100% believe he could have played him more in that role because we were quite short in that role with hooker. But saying that, I'm happy for him because he wasn't bad for John Lilly, was it, when he left and made his name for himself at Bradford. So it's one of those. I hope he does really well at Wakefield. If his rumours are true, you know what I mean, and he does go there, yeah, he'd thrive there, I think. And whether he'd be starting, I don't know, but it's definitely a good signing, and I'm hoping, like say, this kicks him on now because he deserves to play.
It's a bit like his old man, where he can play with a 13 as well, can't he?
Yeah.
So a bit like his old man, yeah. So is that a case of them saying, "Listen, we want to offer you a deal, or do you want to go?" And he's gone, "Well, I want to go and play rugby."
I think it's more that, yeah. I don't think they've offered him anything else. Brad Arthur's basically just said that if he wants to go, he's okay to go. I don't think they've said to him, you know, give him a counter offer or like that. I think he knows in himself that he's not going to be starting. And it's one of those. Some players are okay with that. Some players are okay with just being that in between. But for him to excel, I'm not going to sit here and say he's going to be world class. But he's got potential, and if the more he's, you know, not playing, he's not going to ever get that chance. So if it means him going to Wakefield for a couple of years and then maybe going somewhere else, or he makes it a name for himself at Wakefield, you know, all good for him. He's a great kicker. He needs a little bit more time with kicking, like during play. Not saying he's a bad kicker. He might just need a bit more time on there. But I don't know. I were hoping it'd stay for me. But I'm not the coach, so I understand he's not the strongest of halfbacks. So it's one of those, like we were saying a few weeks back, where Carl, you were saying about Connor being a one, you know, Lee's being a one-man team with Connor. You know, where they played Wigan end of season and Connor weren't playing, and there was Sinfield playing, and the kicks were naff. There were nothing in attack. The link play with the other players just weren't there. So yeah, maybe he's playing for a team that is too good. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he needs to go with a lower team. I mean, I don't know why he didn't sign for one of these teams coming up. I think it'd have been perfect for like a York or a Bradford, maybe.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I think it's one of them. Sometimes it's in the best interest of the player in it to try and move his career forward. Regardless of that, we all wish him well. We want to see these young, you know, kids and young talent.
Yeah, you don't want to see a career hindered by sitting on the bench, do you?
No.
Exactly. A couple of other things in terms of Leeds Rhinos news. A bit of a funny one in the media at weekend. They released James Bentley for some personal matters. Nobody knows what's sort of gone on, but I dare say he'll pop up and sign for somebody shortly. He's still got a lot to offer as a back row, hasn't he? You know, he's one of them back rows. He's quite niggly, but he works hard and all that type of stuff. So somebody will definitely pick him up.
I think it'll be Bradford, I think.
Yeah,
possibly. Yeah, some Bradford. It's a Bradford lad.
Yeah.
So I think he'll definitely offer somebody something, won't he? So we'll wait on a bit more news in terms of that. Last bit of Rhinos news. Danny Levi, the ex-Huddersfield and Canberra Raider hooker, seems to be linked quite a lot these last week or so with Rhinos. It's only a rumour at the moment, but it'd give them some strength through the middle, especially with Andy Ackers going as well. Wouldn't you, Jordan?
I'm excited. I won't lie. When I saw rumour, I've seen it popping up quite a lot of pages and etc. When I've been looking, I'm quite excited for that. It seems like a strong rumour, that as well. He's definitely gone out and tried to buy an exciting hooker. I don't know what sort of position that puts O'Connor in, because obviously with Ackers not being playing this year, O'Connor's kind of been taking it in his stride. So I don't know whether O'Connor would go back second sort of choice, but I think for us to excel next year, we need an actual hooker. I think someone quite nippy, and I've seen him play at Huddersfield, and he's quite exciting. He's not actually played that many games in NRL though, as I've been seeing. He's played 29 games in 3 seasons.
Yeah, he hasn't played a right lot this year.
Yeah, so that's a bit worrying.
He definitely offers something, doesn't he? I mean, we saw him play for Huddersfield. He was decent, and the games that he has played for Canberra, he's been a bit scratchy and a bit patchy, but you just know he's got quality to bring to the table. So we'll keep an eye out on that one. Last piece of news, obviously, with Gaz touched on it earlier in terms of Salford. Obviously, they're going down Championship / League One sort of format. They're going to Ledge next season. So there's going to be a lot of players getting released from Salford in the next few weeks. We've got Nene McDonald, which will probably be the first to be snapped up. He's an handful on his day. We've got Jaden Nicarigo. We've got Joe Mellor, Sam Stone, Logan Lewis, Esam Masters, Sam Davies, Jamie Pike, Kai Morgan. They're all free agents as of now, basically. So, like I said, there's some quality within them names. I mean, Gaz touched on it earlier. Gaz, Rolls he's at Saints now. He'll have connections with every single one of them players. I mean, surely Nene McDonald will be the first to get snapped up after, in terms of that list, Gaz.
I'd like it, but we have been linked with SM Masters like a while ago. So whether that comes to fruition or not, I don't know. But Nicarima is a player I won't mind, because if we're going to have young halfbacks going forward, I might mind someone to help him out. And if I've got that completely wrong and he's not an halfback, I'm going home.
Hey, we all make mistakes, mate.
Yeah, but I know Neil McDonald's a player that I think any club would like to have on the books, whether he's starting or going to be an impact player or what. But definitely a talented lad. I'll give him that.
It sounds a bit disrespectful discussing Salford's players, but they are, as of now, free agents. So, like Gaz said earlier, they've got to pay the mortgages, they've got to pay the bills, and they've got to put food on the table. So, in terms of that, Jordan, is anybody who stands out in them names that you'd sort of think that would strengthen your team, the Rhinos?
Oh no, it's okay. By the way, Nick Kareem is a standoff. I'm okay. I didn't cock it up too much.
Well, we've had Neen McDonald, haven't we? So yeah, no, probably not. No, probably not. I just wanted to touch up Carl as well. You were saying about Salford going in that Championship League One thing. I have not actually heard anything that's guaranteed, because for all I knew, I've been reading up on Solly Reds as well, Woody. He's not said anything about them going down a division. Like, you presume they are, but with what I've been reading on his news and stuff, like, I thought they were just completely, detaching and like going away. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't think they had a club. So is that something that's permanent? Is that like guaranteed?
No, so there's nothing set in stone yet. Like I said a second ago, Alleged going to release some more information. I was listening to a couple of podcasts a few weeks back, and there was some very good sources that that was the discussion in and around that division, to try and basically put Championship and League One together, to try and get the best quality product possible. Now, like I said, it's not set in stone yet, but it was definitely in conversation about it.
I have seen a graphic where it's like, the one where it's got the new Super League with the 14 teams on it. I've seen one for that, and it's got all the combined teams on one poster. So whether that's the way it's going or not, I'm not sure, but
that'd be like 16 teams or something like that, though. Something ridiculous.
Yeah, it might be something like that.
Yeah. I've also heard from us. I don't want to start dropping names here, but somebody I know his lad plays for Gull Vikings, so I know there's a little bit of substance behind what we're discussing at the moment. So again, like I said a second ago, it's not set in stone, but as far as I'm aware, it's definitely up for discussion. So so it's something else to talk about pre-season, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And as soon as the Ashes is done, I'm sure we'll have some more information regarding sort of format of that league. So that's pretty much all of this week's latest news and rumours and gossip and talking points. Now we can really delve into this, guys, now in terms of the Ashes, because the rest of this podcast will be discussing the Ashes between me and you and Jordan. So over to you, mate, with the England squad.
Yeah, so what I'll go through the list of players and just give my short thoughts on it. John Bateman, I've no idea why he's there, other than the fact that he's Sean Wayne's mate. I think as a bat rower, I reckon Dean Edley should be there instead of him.
Yeah.
Even McDonald at Leeds.
He's Irish.
Oh, they can do what they want, can't they? It doesn't matter. You can play for 10 countries if you want to.
If in Australia you can play for England, then yeah.
There you go.
I'm sure he's got a pet guinea pig that was born in bloody Leeds or something.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah,
that's the criteria, now, isn't it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Hey, listen, LMS play for England, then play for Ireland, so it don't make a difference anymore.
No, I don't.
AJ Brimson, I don't know a lot about him. Imagine you will, Cal, being the NRL guy of the podcast.
Yeah, AJ's got good leg speed. He's quick at the line. He's got a good step. Again, his parents his mum, his dad's Australian. His mum is from Plymouth. I think he said this is the first time he's ever been up north in England, because every time he's visited his mum, he's always been down south and around Plymouth and London area. So it will bring something to the table. Now, whether he starts at fullback instead of Wellesby, I'm not sure, but I'd imagine them two will fight out for the fullback position.
Well, Joe, I think Wellesby needs that because he can get a bit complacent at times. So I think if he's got a bit of I was saying that he's not really kicked on that much with Sailor going at fullback when he's been injured, but I hope it gives him a kick up the arse anyway. Joe Burgess, I'm happy with him being there. I'm not a fan of him myself as a Saints fan, but putting that England shirt on, I'm behind him. Darryl Clark, I think, other than Jez Litton, it's probably the right choice to go there. I think Jez will play more minutes than Darryl will. Herbie Farnworth speaks for himself, really, doesn't he? Arguably the best centre in the world at the minute. Ethan Havard, not too sure. I'm not sold on that one. I think there's other players like what's his name? Robbie Mullen could be there in his place.
Yeah.
Morgan Knowles, 100%, and that's not just because I'm a Saints fan. He probably is the best English 13 in the world going right now.
Yeah,
and I'm including Victor Radley in that. Matty Lees, he'll be a good body to have in there. He's only got one direction, that's forward. Hasn't made a lot of after impact meters this season, but never know with England. Mikey Lewis should be playing. He should be in that team no matter what. But I've got this horrible feeling that Sean Wayne is going to have him as a number 9 off the bench.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely wasting him, in my opinion. And I'm sure Cal will agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if he does go with Mikey at 14, I mean, it begs the question of that. Darryl Clark's probably not going to play if that's the case. He's not going to have 2 hookers plus Mikey Lewis in squad, is he? So I hope he doesn't go down that road, but we'll sort of find out Saturday, won't we?
All right. Well, given Darryl Clark's age, it could do without him getting cropped in this game. So we haven't got any backup hookers, to be fair, I don't think, apart from Burns. Jez Litton, I would like him to play 80 minutes for 3 games, but I don't mind if he puts, say, Daz Clark on for the first 10, 15, like you did in the final when McIlroy started, and then you brought Litton into it. I can live with that. Mike McMeekan, he's earned his way into there. He's been on good form all season for Wakefield. Harry Newman, I mean, I'm sorry, Jordan, but he does nothing for me. There's a good player in there. He just needs to get that into it, you know.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of players like that. I'm not just picking on him, by the way.
Yeah, no.
So no, Jack Wellesby's the same.
He's my favourite centre in the whole wide world.
Yours. Is that because you told Dave Sailor
Nah,
to F off?
yeah, pretty much, mate. Yeah, like you've hit the
Oh,
nail
no,
on the head
don't be
there
like
with
that.
that. You've hit the nail on the head with Aaron Newman. There's obviously a quality player in there, but I
Yeah,
just feel like his attitude's all wrong at times, and that's probably why he's inconsistent. I mean, Jordan knows better than I do. I just don't see it consistently enough for him to be justified to be in that squad. Well, that's just my opinion, and we're all entitled to that, aren't we?
Yeah,
yeah. Mikolaj Oliedzki, when he's not injured, or if he's not carrying a knock, I think he's a great prop. I do sort of wax the circle of him at times, but it's just keeping the lad fit. That's the only issue, and obviously Jordan will know that himself.
yeah.
Kai Pierce-Paul, only seen bits of him at Wigan before he went over to Newcastle Knightsborough. Again, Carl, that's your forte over there with the NRL. You'll know a bit more than I am what I was getting on over there.
Yeah, he's doing well. He's starting most games. Decent back rower. He suits the NRL because of the speed and the athleticism that you need within that sort of setup. So no qualms for me. I'd have put him in the squad definitely.
Yeah. Addy Smith. Morgan Smithies, I think, has got yeah, he's a little bit of a shit also at Wigan, but he's kicked on with his game at Canberra from what I've seen. Owen Trout deserves it. He's worked hard all season. He's agile for a prop. And if he had a little bit more pace, they could have been in that grand final instead of Wigan. Alex Walmsley. I love Alex, but he drops the ball too bloody much for my. It gets to a point now in the stand where whenever he carries the ball and we go, right, there's one, two, oh, he knocked on. We actually count how many carries he has before he knocks on. But it'll be a good old head to have around the some young players. Jake Wardle, yeah, completely agree with him being the starting centre with Farnworth for me. Callum Watkins, it's a funny one this because he's still got something to offer, but again, I think there's probably a younger, hungrier player to be there. But I can live with it for now. I can live with it. Jack Wellsby, um, even as a Saints fan, I don't think he's done enough to earn the spot in England.
Yeah.
But there is a shortage of English fullbacks. There's only him, and Max Jowett, really, in Super League.
Yeah.
George Williams, if he's switched on, he can have a good game. But if he's not on it, he's awful, in my opinion. And Dom Young speaks for himself. Quick, agile, tall, uh, great winger. So yeah, he's a starting winger for me.
That's it. There's a bit of talent in there, isn't there? But literally they're gonna have to be on the game to sort of get this series over the line. If they take the Aussies to the wire and make a dint in them. What I was going to ask you is, if I know some people say we didn't want George Williams in the squad, but if Williams wasn't there, who would be our skipper, Jordan?
With my skipper, I'd probably have Mikey Lewis.
Yeah.
Probably have Mikey Lewis because when you're playing in big test games like that, he'd set an example. You know what I mean? I like the fact that he'd be an exciting player and having a captain band on him. I think it'd heighten his stack status, if that makes sense. Probably
I do have an
NRL.
argument to this, and I've seen it not with a lot of players, especially in the halves. Would the armband hinder his game? I've seen it with Johnny Lomax. I've seen it with John Wilkin.
Well, it happened with
Personally, I would have, yeah,
happened with Carl
I would have
Watkins,
Morgan Knowles. He's been there around there long enough,
To be
and he's
fair,
still got a young head,
yeah.
or at least a vice captain. At least you're.
Me personally, I'd have gone co-captains of Morgan Knowles and Mike McMeekin. You know exactly what
Mike
you're getting
Meakin's a
from
shout.
You know exactly what you're getting them from both. They'll run the blood to water. They only know one direction, and they're both very good professionals. they've played in some big
And
games over the
your
years.
captain on the pitch for 80 minutes as well, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's probably not the squad we thought it would be, but it is fairly strong, isn't it? So let's sock it to the Aussies and see what happens. I'll run you through the Aussie squad. Apologies for anybody listening or watching who doesn't understand some of the surnames I'm going to read out, because some of them are, double-barreled, treble-barreled.
There's no bloody need for
very
it. I think just making it up.
And I said to you boys off air, didn't I? This will be quite interesting, me trying to get some of the surnames correct. So again, apologies if we go through and don't sort of pronounce them correctly, but I'll do my best. So we've got Blake Braley, we've got Patrick Carrigan, we've got the Iceman Nathan Cleary. I mean, we know on his days best player in the world, didn't he?
Gomez Adams.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Got Lindsay Collins, Ruben Cutter, we've got Angus Crichton, we've got Tommy Dearden. He might not feature, and if he does, he'll probably come off the bench. Dylan Edwards from the Penrith Panthers. We've got Tino Fasanalawi from the Gold Coast Titans. We've got Harry Grant, and he's a vice captain, and he's from the Melbourne Storm. Oh God, how do you pronounce this one then? Reno Malatangi, if that's pronounced correctly.
You got there.
Probably not, but it was a tongue twister. He's a big body through the middle for the Aussies. We've got Mitchell Moses, Parramatta Eels. We've probably got the best six in the world, in my opinion, in terms of Cameron Munster. He obviously plays for the Melbourne Storm.
Can I try this one?
Yeah, go on. I hope you do.
Mark Nagit. Oh dear. Mark Nawaganito Easy.
Owaze.
That's it, close enough.
Yeah. It was a good effort, mate, to be fair, but probably better than what I could have done.
As a Union player anyway, it don't matter.
Yeah, well, when he played Union, I actually thought he was a Kiwi at one point.
Yeah.
And then he crops up for the Roosters, and then all of a sudden he's an Aussie. So yeah, that's a new one on me. Who else we've got on that list? Jacob Preston, Bulldogs back rower, decent workhorse. Oh God, Gaz, you have to help me out with this one.
Right, Germert Shabazaki.
Yeah, I watch a hell of a lot of NRL, and I haven't come across him too much, to be fair, so I couldn't tell you a right lot about him. Lindsay Collins from the Penrith Panthers, again, absolute quality back rower. Kotoni Staggs from the Brisbane Broncos is up there as one of the best centres in the game in the NRL. This is a funny one, because he got linked with England, didn't he? Ethan Strange from the Canberra Raiders, a half-back that can cause havoc, good pace at the line, etc.
He must have got tipped off to his getting picked for that Aussie squad, mustn't he? He must have got tipped off.
I'd imagine so, because he'd have been coming cap in hand, wouldn't he? Wanting to play for England if he hadn't been selected and had the heads up early doors. So yeah, we know he'll be a threat if he gets any game time. Probably the best fullback in the world at the minute, Reece Walsh.
Yep. That is.
He's got some speed.
That's the man to watch for me. And it says it all if he's going to keep Dylan Edwards out the team.
Yeah, that's it. I'm not keen on his nail varnish or drinking from toilet water.
I found out what the nail varnish is all about. So he had
his daughter.
Yeah, he had a little girl, and she paints his nails when he was having a meeting, but whatever. And I think he probably just kept it for her. So I'm going to get a Brisbane shirt just for that, because I like that kind of stuff.
Hey, to be fair, mate, when you're as good as him, you can do what the hell you like, can't you? Who's going to tell him?
As long as he gets the job done on the pitch.
Yeah, who's going to tell him he can't do this or he can't do that? Absolute quality player, and to be fair, I'm sort of not sleeping thinking about it now, him coming through our line. So hopefully he'll be pouring all 3 games, but that's yet to be seen. Isaac Yeo, he's the captain of the Aussies, probably up there in terms of best 13 in the world for sure, especially over the last 5 or 6 years. He's been dominant in that position, hence why he's a skipper for the Aussies. Hudson Young, back row from the Canberra Raiders, again, great workhorse, athletic, knows where the try line is and works damn hard for any team he plays for.
He's
And
back.
these two last ones,
He is back.
the Fox, Josh
love
Adokar.
Yeah.
Him and Bradman Best are the last two in the squad, and they came in last minute to replace two injured players. So they've literally only just got to camp last couple of days. So yeah, that concludes the Aussies. There's some absolute quality there in the Gaz.
I mean, if we're set up right, we've got half a chance. I think I think it's going to be more about shutting them down than going at them. To be honest, because if we slow the game down, play the ruck at our pace, don't let them get up and have a quick play of the ball. It can frustrate them, lead to mistakes and all that kind of nature. So it remains to be seen, doesn't it?
Yeah. The worrying thing for me is I sound a bit like Jordan here when he was waxing lyrical about Rovers last week, but they're just that good all across the park. And I mean, even some of the players that left at home, they could probably knock another 2 or 3 squads up and give us a game. I'm just praying to God that they're not going to be quite at it, and we can take advantage of that. Yeah, but there's some quality strike there for sure, and we'll see what happens. So yeah, that's the Aussie squad. Us three now are going to pick our England starting 13s from the team that Mr. Wayne's picked. There's a little bit of variation between the three teams of 13 we've picked. So, Jordan, if you want to crack on with yours first, mate, and let us know your picks.
Yeah, so I've gone with Jack Wellsby at fullback. It's one of those for me. Like, I don't know much about this AJ Grimson or whatever his name is. I think like I say, Jack Wellsby kind of needs to be in there because we haven't got many options in there. Obviously, Jake Connor should be there. I reckon he could have been fullback, or at least had options, but he's not. So Wellsby at fullback.
Bloody hell, John, the way you're going, you'd put Jake Connor at bloody prop forward.
I would have done.
Anyway, to get him in.
Just to get him in.
Sure, him in, get him in there.
So Dom Young at 2. Yet again, we've got good wingers. I'm surprised Liam Marshall's not in there. I'll be honest. Very surprised he's not in there. Dom Young, obviously, know of him. I know he obviously does well in NRL. He does pretty well for England team, to be honest. So he's a good one to have in there. He's quite pacey. Obviously, I've gone Harry Newman just because I know the quality that he has. I know when he switches on, and because of how he runs diagonal across the pitch, I know that he can find gaps. And if it's done right, and we all play together, he can make a gap, and you know what I mean, he can do some damage. I think he's going to be one that would surprise Aussies if he plays out of his skin. He'll be one that can run ragged and could do some surprises. And then I've gone Jake Wardle, which I think we can all agree he's a workhorse. He deserves to be there 100%, definitely starting. I'm gone with Is it Farnworth? Is it
Herbie Farnworth.
Herbie Farnworth, yeah.
Yeah, I know he's obviously a quality player, and I know he's probably going to be in starting. Don't know much about him, I'll be honest. I know he plays for England. I haven't really watched him in NRL, I'll be honest. So obviously I go with Jake Wardle and Newman there. And then 5, I've gone Joe Burgess. I think with who we've got available in the squad, I think it's a given that he's got to be in there. Treble winner. You know, try-scored at grand final. If it come down to it, you know, he can do some aerial dives, and he's, you know, pretty good at it. And then obviously I've gone Mikey Lewis, and he's my 6. He's my 6, 100%. And I know he's not going to be 6, and it's shit. It really is shit, because I know
he's going to be frustrating if he's not playing there.
He's not, because he's going to pick Big Nose at 6. So he's gonna be 6 without a doubt. He's gonna play probably all 3 tests at 6. So Mikey, then it's option as does he go 7? No, he doesn't, because Harry Smith will go 7. But I've gone Mikey Lewis at 6, and then 7 I've gone Jez Litton, just because I don't want Harry Smith playing. I don't want George Williams playing. But Jez Litton needs to be in the team. So for me, I personally don't think we're going to win any games. So, and I don't personally think the team's strong enough to win any games. So I'm just thinking, sod it, play Jez Litton at 7 and Mikey Lewis, both of them partnered to each other. They can take the game. And then obviously I've gone McMeekin at 8, Darrell Clark at 9, Walmsley at 10. I think I went, what did I put 11?
Kai Pearce-Paul.
Kai Pearce-Paul, yeah. I think that's what Carl went down on. His quality. I know he's a good player. Callum Watkins. If obviously I'd put probably Smithies in there to be honest, and I'd Callum Watkins on bench, but obviously we'll pick as 13. So Callum Watkins at 12, and then obviously, I'm sure we'll all agree Morgan Knowles at 13. It's understandable. Yeah, I don't like the 6 and 7. And I know Mike Lewis is going to play, and like we said before, I honestly think he's going to come on as hooker. And it's not going to work. But me personally, I don't think the team's good enough to win any games. So that's my opinion.
No, and that's what it's all about, mate. We're all entitled to them opinions. I mean, some people listening will think, well, Jez Litton's not an half-back. He's covered there for Rovers in the past. But you're simply playing Jez there because you don't believe Harry Smith and George Williams deserve to be in that spot. So I totally you get your opinion with that one. Yeah. Gaz, how about your 13?
Yeah, so I've gone Welsby as well, just because I know what he can do. Like I say, I don't think he's earned the spot this year, but I know what he's capable of. Dom Young and Joe Burgess on the wings. They both speak for themselves. Joe Burgess sort of had a career renaissance at OKR, so again, worked his way back into it. His centres have gone Wardle and Farnworth. I think we got the best centre in NRL and probably the best centre in Super League together, in my opinion, who can play for England anyway. Me halves, I've gone with Lewis and Smith. Now, there's method to me madness here. Just don't let your head blow up here, Jordan. Right? You know where you're going with Michael Lewis. You got a bit of a maverick player. If he needs to, he'll go for a 40-20. He's not scared to do it, which is what you need to do against these Aussies. Harry Smith, I've gone with because
Ahmed.
People we can slate him for his not saying he's not the best fullback or whatever, but he's organised.
Yeah.
Like if Sean Wayne gives him a job to do, he's going to go out there and do it. Right, there is players that can go out there and have a better game at halfback, but he's going to do what Sean Wayne tells him. So that's why I've gone with him. McMeekin and Lees, I'm starting in the props, and this is where it all starts getting a bit different now, where we all sort of disagree a little bit. But you've got obviously the battering ram in McMeekin. You've got the athletic prop with Lees, and I think that's how I'd like to play props. Have the bulldozer and the athlete. Jez Litton, but if they started Clark for 10, 15 minutes and then brought him on, I'd be happy with that as well. And then me 11, 12, 13, same as Jordan. Kai Pearce-Paul, Callum Watkins and Morgan Knowles.
So it's a solid one. I was just looking at when Jordan was reading his second rowers out and loose man, and you've just done the same there. And when you think about what's in the squad in terms of back rowers, I mean, there's quite a few options to choose from, isn't there? Because you've got John Bateman in there, you've got Callum Watkins, you've got Morgan Knowles, you've got Morgan Smithies. I mean, there's a lot of them who can play second row and 13. So it'll be interesting.
I mean, if you need help at prop, if you need an hand at prop, Knowles can play there as well.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Don't be surprised if between the three sort of series, that he rotates a little bit in terms of what's happening in the game.
Me personally, Carl, I want to see Watkins off the bench. I don't want to see him start. I want him off the bench because I think he would be a good impact player off the bench. He's still quite dancing about with how his footwork is. I mean, so when he played for Leeds this season when he signed, sometimes I look at him and I'm like, I can't believe he's old as he is because he's still got the footwork. And he's very good at offloading. So I think he'd be good off a bench personally.
Yeah, like I say, mate, it's all up for interpretation and views because there is some options there. I mean, I know we don't agree with some of the selections he's made, Mr. Wayne, but there is some good options between the
I'll
three.
tell you that I
three
want
games.
Watkins to get some retribution after that ankle tap in the World Cup. That was that's so unlucky with that.
I know.
Maybe that was in his thought process when he selected Callum Watkins.
Oh
It's
well, yeah.
little moments like that. Watkins might be fired up now, knowing what's happened in the past.
He's got
So
another
little
crack in it.
moments. Yeah, and he's thinking, right, I'll give him another crack. But yeah, it'll be interesting viewing when he names it first 13 on Saturday. So my starting England 13 was as follows. I've gone Jack Wellsby, Dom Young, Joe Burgess on the wings. I've gone, like Gaz said, probably the best two centres in terms of Jake Wardle and Herbie Farnworth. You think that Jordan's not going to be happy with this one, but in my halves, I've gone for Mikey Lewis and George Williams. What I've seen of Mikey this year is
He's
his
just
kicking
pissed
games
because Connor's up there. And that's all it is. Jake Connor's up there. So he don't want anyone playing there.
Yeah, no, that's
and
his position.
But I can't have it. You can't.
well, I'll save that one for a minute's time when I've read this team out.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to upset Jordan too much. But like you say, we've all got us views, haven't we? So yeah, the reason I've gone for Mikey Lewis and George Williams was Mikey's kicking game, short and long, has grown quite proficient in this last 12 months. Whereas he was running the ball a lot before. Now he's mixing it up more. He's kicking into corners. He's got his kicking pinpoint most weeks. So what Mikey does now, I would probably say his kicking game is probably better than Harry Smith's, as well as his running game is better than Harry Smith. So in my opinion, he's an overall better player than Harry Smith. We all know George Williams is going to be captain, and George is still a good player, mate. He's just been playing in a poor side in terms of Warrington this season. I just think if he gets his running game on at their line, I think he can cause some problems. And George is one of them, like a lot of players. When you're playing with confidence, you feel unbeatable. When you're not playing with confidence and you're playing behind a beaten pack like he has all year, he struggles, and that's why he's struggled, and that's why Warrington have struggled. So that's my reasoning for them too. Prop, I've gone Mike McMeekin and Matty Lees. Obvious reasons: athletic, work hard, one way forward, hit hard. Also, best 9 in the comp this year for me, Jez Litton, by quite some distance. I mean, everybody goes on about Danny Walker being great, and yeah, he's had a few injuries this year, but for me, Jez Litton's probably light years ahead. People can say that's my Rovers hat on, but I just think Gaz has waxed lyrical about him most.
Yeah,
most
I think we're all in agreement with Jez Litton needs to be in there.
Yeah, so if he doesn't start, it'll be terrible for me. Back rowers and loose man. I've gone a little bit different to you boys. So for me, Callum Watkins is a no-no. I think he's got a lot to offer, but just not against the best team in the world in terms of the Aussies. I think if we was playing maybe a Fiji or a Papua New Guinea or a Tonga or Samoa, I think he'd be more in there for me. I've gone with Kai Pearce-Paul. I'm going to slot Morgan Smithies in at the other back row. He can do a job there. He's a workhorse. Like you said, Gaz, he can be a bit grubby at times, so hopefully he might be able to get under the skin of the Aussies. And then I've gone for probably the best loose man in the competition in terms of Morgan Knowles. So for me, there's no questions in terms of that. But yeah, that would be my pick. I think we'll be competitive. It's just if we can stay with the pace of the Aussies.
Get that edge over them, don't we?
Yeah, that's it, mate. But yeah, that's pretty much all three of our starting 13s. There'll be people listening, going, "Oh, I don't agree with this. I do agree with that." And that's just
anyone who's got a different opinion, feel free to let us know. Let us know your 13s as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll just touch on a sore subject for Jordan. So I've had a little bit of a thought over this over the last last week or so. So I think, was it last week and the week before, we discussed England selection before it was announced, and we said, "Oh yeah, Jake Connor has to be in there. He's nailed on because his man of steel." Changed my mind a little bit in this last week because I've watched a few podcasts, and ex-pros.
I should have brought some popcorn for this.
No, I'm all nice.
Here we go. Oh, here we go.
We're all opinionated, aren't we? And that's why we do this, isn't it? So, don't agree with 80% of Shaun Wane selections in terms of John Bateman and all the other guys that we classed as over the hill. Like I said last week, you can't blame them players. But in terms of Jake Connor, been outstanding for one season. And when he was sort of given his reasons why, and Shaun Wane was saying about, oh yeah, he'll be sort of nailed on for the World Cup next year and all that type of selection. I can see his reasons because before Mikey broke into the England squad, he had an outstanding season, but then didn't get selected. So I think Shaun Wane with certain players looked for continuity in terms of standards and quality for a number of seasons, not just one season. I mean, Jordan might disagree with that, and yeah, like I say, we're all entitled to our opinion. I think Man of Steel should definitely, mean something to the coach, but it clearly doesn't.
It should be in his thoughts at least.
Yeah. And what I would say is, though, I would definitely have him in the squad. Whether he started at 6 would be a different scenario, but I probably wouldn't start him myself, but I'd definitely have him in his squad. I mean, I know that sounds a bit harsh, Jordan, but I just sort of reflecting on what I've sort of listened to and watched the last couple of weeks. I mean, don't me down if you like, mate. Feel free.
No, I mean, when you're saying about him doing one season, that is it, though, isn't it? I mean, when you're talking about playing for England, you're the best player in the season. That season, you should be picked. I don't think that you need to be great for 3 seasons in a row, whatever. Because at the end of the day, this is what we were saying about the squad that were picked. You need to pick the people who deserve to be there, like your Dean Hadley. He's been outstanding this year. He ain't been picked. And it's one of those things where you look at the team, half of those England players probably should be LKR players because they've won treble. They're all great because of the season they've had. You don't go off last season or season before. Dean Hadley might not have been fantastic 2 seasons ago, but he's been fantastic this year, and that's what you go off.
Yeah. But what I say, though, in terms of you're saying about Dean Hadley, he's been good for a couple of seasons, but guys might tell me different. A lot of them top coaches look for consistency over a number of seasons, and that's. I mean, I don't agree with majority of what that Shaun Wane says, but when he said that the other day, I had to take it on board because it sort of penny sort of dropped, and then I thought back to the situation with Mikey and then other players in the past where it's great being good for one season, but these top coaches look for continuous, progression and consistency throughout 2 or 3 seasons, don't they, guys?
Yeah, I mean, you look at, like, for example, Daz Clark. I mean, he's never been the best hooker in the game or in Super Leagues. You've always had like the likes of Roby ahead of him, Danny Houghton, and now Jeslett and Bo. Because he's been consistent for so long, he gets in those England squads, regardless of where his team are or whatever. Because he's always been at that level. He's not dropped. He's always been there.
Well, this is the thing for me. When you were saying about Connor, right? Compare this now to you've got Mikey Lewis in the England team, right? Thoroughly deserves to be there, just like I think Connor should be there. But I'm sat here with my best player of the season, of the Rhinos season, of the competition. Realistically, he's going on Man of Steel, and not even had a sniff. So you, Carl, have got Mikey Lewis, who's obviously should be in the England team, but he's not going to get played, right? Because where are you going to play him? Because if Wane's picking these players, whatever, he's going to have George Williams and Harry Smith at 6 and 7. So as a Hull KR fan, do you want Mikey Lewis even in the team? Because if he's just there just for no reason, like I can sit and go, right, Connor weren't picked. At least I know he's not being picked and he's not going to play because he's not being picked. Mikey Lewis is in the squad and I don't see him playing, and he might come off at bench as hooker. So for me, Mikey Lewis has deserved to be in there, but it kind of doesn't make sense in a sense because, like I say, Connor's been good for one season, like you say, not being in the team. Mikey Lewis has progressed and been fantastic this year, and he ain't even going to play. So it don't make sense in my eyes. The whole squad selection, the whole way how he's thinking, it don't make sense. That's why he's just blown my mind. I
think in terms of Connor, like you say, he's an absolute quality player, and he should be in that squad. All I'm saying is, I don't think by what he said, he wanted him starting. I don't think he was ever going to start. I mean, if you remember rightly, a few years ago, he's dipped in and out of the England squads, hasn't he? He was playing centre for England at one point, and then he was inconsistent, and then he didn't get in the next squad. So I think Sean Wayne is obviously thinking, right, he's inconsistent over 3 or 4 seasons. Yes, he's been outstanding this one year, but he's only played that. I mean, how many seasons has he played at 6? Solidly, you know.
Well, he has slotted in. Do you know he played fullback, didn't he, at Huddersfield? I'm sure he played fullback for Hull FC as well. But the thing is, it's like Gaz was saying about Jack Wellsby, saying that he probably shouldn't be in the team. Jowett should be in there. But obviously, we are short on fullbacks, to be honest. But
plus, Wellsby can also play in the halves as well, so that's taking up another spot there if it's required.
Yeah,
that's the thing for me. It's like I'm a strong person on it. Do you know? It's you're the best player that season, right? You're in that team. You know, it's not guaranteed Jez Linton's going to have a fantastic season next year. He most probably will do, obviously. But can you say Jez Linton played the same last season as he did this year? Or do you reckon he's played the best season this year?
I would say he's been more consistently better this year. Well, the 2 previous seasons, he's been a live spark and a live wire.
But
for periods within the game. I would say this season he's been more consistent.
Was he in the England team last year?
No.
That's what I mean. That's my point. So, in some ways, Wayne has done right because he's picked the players that have done fantastic. Jez Linton, without shadow of a doubt, is in that team. But then you look at it and you go, right, we don't know what sort of. Basically, what I'm saying is when he picks a squad this weekend, I don't think that's going to change me. I think he's going to play who he wants to play, and I think the rest are going to get shut out. And it's like that. Like I said, Jez Linton played out of his skin this season, deserves to be in there. Weren't in there last year. So for me, it's who's been great this season. So you Dean Hadley, Jake Connor, they're 6 and 7, Mikey Lewis and Jake Connor. But it's almost like they're getting bullied out of the team because Sean Wayne won't budge. He wants George Williams and Harry Smith as his 6 and 7, and he won't, change it. So for me,
also it's circumstances, isn't they? We've probably got more halfbacks than we have hooker. Yeah. I mean, Danny Walker's been injured majority of the season. Brad O'Neill's not been at the levels he's been at previous seasons. Daz Clark's slowing down a little bit now, so it's
Brad
circumstantial
Dwyer.
As well. Brad Dwyer, yeah. So certain positions are circumstantial, aren't they?
But do you know what's frustrating? I'm sure we probably all 3 of us can agree. If George Williams, right, obviously, what you were saying, Carl, about him being behind pack and he's not played a great season, I understand that. I totally get that. This could be his time to shine. Maybe. I hope it is. Obviously, we're all England fans, so if it means we're winning, that's great. But for me, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to say, if George Williams plays really bad, I don't see Sean Wayne changing him. I reckon he would keep him at 6, all 3 test games, right, for him playing mediocre. Not fantastic, but not really bad, but in between. I reckon he'll play him all 3 tests, and he'll be that stubborn that he won't adjust it and go, do you know what? I think I'm going to put Mikey Lewis on. I think I'm going to swap it and get him because we're a bit laggy here. Mikey Lewis is going to spark things up. I don't think he's going to do that. So, for me,
all remains to be seen. Lewis. But I'll tell you what, right? If we win that first game on Saturday, next Monday you're going to come on here and eat your hat.
Yeah, I will. 100%. Yeah.
it goes down to the deciding third and final game. George Williams knocks a 1 point over in the 79th minute to nick the series for England. You heard it here first.
I mean, this is the thing, right? I know I sound biased. I know all three of us can be biased at times. I wanted Connor and Lewis at 6 and 7. Yeah, sure, we can all agree that that's what we wanted. Connor's not in there, so Lewis has to be there. It's not one or the other. Connor's not there, so Lewis has to be 6 or 7, regardless, and he's not gonna be. So that's what I'm saying, Carl. I would rather be a Rhinos fan and be like, right, Connor's not in team. I don't have to worry about watching him not get played. But you, a treble winner, are you going to sit there and be comfortable that Lewis might not even play?
No, I won't be comfortable with that. But in terms of analysing it over the last week or so, what I'm trying to get across to the viewers and listeners is that it's not sometimes how we're thinking; it's how the coaches thought, or
he's a coach for a reason. And the reason why we're sat here talking about it.
We're all entitled to that opinion, but sometimes you just got to think, right, I don't agree with the decisions he's made and the selections he's made. Why is he thinking like that? And that's what I've tried to sort of unpick it the way he's thinking about it rather than, than what we're thinking.
I mean, for all we know, that could be an absolute disaster at Wembley on Saturday, and he'll go, right, AJ, you're going fullback, Jack, you're going 6, Mikey, you're going 7 for the next game. You never know.
He's probably sat there thinking, right, I can't bring McAlorum in because he's hurt his ankle, so I can't have my mate in. So who can I have that I've just had a drink with down at pub with? Right, we'll have George Williams, we'll have Andy Smith. What other Wigan players can I have?
I mean, you might as well get Kelvin Skerritt out of retirement at this point, the way you're cracking on. Maybe Ben Flower.
Is Martin Fire free?
Should we get O'Connor back?
No, to be fair to Jordan, mate, I get his frustration.
I do get it.
We're in the situation we're in, aren't we? I mean, for me, Connor had to be in the squad regardless if he started or not. But it's not the case. It might not be the case that Mikey Lewis plays, but ultimately, we're all here to support the team, support the boys, and support the nation, aren't we? And try and get one over them mossy buggers.
That's the only thing for me, Carl. Right? Obviously, we know the quality that we're coming up against. We know this. Like, we all know, like you said about 15 minutes ago, they could probably have a second team. I reckon Australian B team could beat us. This thing we struggle with, and it's as a nation, even with football, it's not just rugby, but this is why I was stating so strongly about when you were saying about not playing good for a couple of years, etc. Like, this is why I'm so strong with you pick who's the great this season, because when you're playing Australians, right, or Kiwis, whichever, you're playing against the best in the world. Their options are ridiculous. They've probably got 6 and 7s that they can pick from, and they all do exactly the same job. We haven't got that benefit. We have. If you take George Williams, Harry Smith, Mikey Lewis, all three of them are injured, right? We're struggling there, and you can feel that. There's some adjustments around. So for me, it's one of those. Like I say, I don't see us doing all, and I'm not being shit about it. I'm not being a downer about it. I don't feel like. In my opinion, our best chances this weekend at Wembley, I think if we get under his skin, like Gaz was saying, we get his ruck speed sorted, we might surprise them, might wake them up and they might be like, oh, Jesus, we've got a game here. These Poms aren't messing about. I just, like you said as well, Carl, if they start getting, Reece Wallace, he starts running, it could be curtains straight away. It could be we're looking at a cricket score. I think we've got an okay team. There's half of those players that I'm okay with.
Yeah, I do think though we're going to be a bit too organised in defence for them to put a big score on us like that. I think the way Wayne likes to play, I mean, he does like the off, like on the edge style of playing, but he's very an organising defence coach.
I do agree with you, Gaz. I do agree with what you said when you said that we'll be more of a defensive. We won't be attractive in the attack because we'll probably be focused on his defence, and we'll probably rather be a defensive team and stop them putting 40 odd points past us, which I agree with you. I reckon
Yeah, and if we can get a chance off like an interception or something like that, if we can get the ball to Dom Young, he's gone.
I reckon that's his chance. I think when you go in attack, when you go in man for man against Australia, I don't think we have a chance. But if we went defensive, and then like you say, we got some penalties, or we you know what I mean, we did good with ruck speed, and we got in there right. I reckon we'd be all right. Do you know what I mean? We'd probably do all right. It's just, I think if we're going all out attack, I think they piss all over us.
Yeah, we'll just be caught out.
Yeah, we will.
No, I don't think Sean Wayne's ever done that with any of his teams. You know, even when he was at Wigan in the day. I mean, everything he does is based on his defence and his aggression.
Yeah, he was very regimented.
Yeah, very Whiteman-like. You know, get the Aussies into the wrestle, slow them down.
Yeah,
you know, keep their ruck speed as slow as possible. You know, lay it on for as long as possible.
Put them in little headlocks in the tackle and all that. Carry on.
Yeah, give them a couple of uppercuts in scrum as well while we're there.
Yeah, just don't do a Ben Flower and sparks them on the floor, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. No, don't. I was just about to say, we need to do anything we can to gain an advantage.
Right. He's a quality coach. Obviously, stats show that. You know, he did great for Wigan. I don't like the guy. But I think when you think about like how we struggled for the last 5 or 6 years, probably with his coaches, I look at Sean Wayne and I see one thing that we've not had from other coaches, and I see aggression, and I see when we're trying to compete with New Zealand and Australia, and even like your Fiji, Samoa, obviously they beat us, didn't they? Knocked us out in World Cup. So most nations now are more or less can beat you on the day. You know what I mean? So it's not just Australia and New Zealand, but I looked at Sean Wayne, I'm like, right, he's gonna give us something that we have not had, and that's aggression. He's quite determined to beat the Aussies, and he's been out and admitted that. Now when he picks the selection of the squad, as much as I don't 100% agree with everything he said, I do, and this is the only thing I'll go on him, I'll say fair play to him, is he probably has picked the squad. I've gone, right, I know I'll get a job out of him. I know he'll do well for me. And if that works, I'm all for it. As much as I don't agree with the selection, if he can get the best results out of that team with what he believes in, I can hold my up and I'll go, right, I'm wrong. And I hope I am wrong. I just also look at it and I think he's the opposite side of it and think he's stubborn. And I 100% think McIlaurin would have been in there if he wouldn't have retired. So I reckon Dan Clark wouldn't have got a look in. So it's one of those. I hope I'm wrong. I really do hope I'm wrong.
Well, listen, it doesn't matter who's selected and who's coaching. At the end of the day, whoever's pulling that shirt on over these next 3 weeks, I'm getting behind him. Don't care who it is.
100%. I mean, last couple of questions to you guys before we wrap up. Sean Wayne's had this England job since 2020. So he's had it 5 years. I know there was a COVID and all that type of stuff we had to go through. What I'm trying to get at here is had it for a long time. Within that 5 years, 5 years is a long time. Has the game changed, and will his ways be found out?
I actually think it's going to benefit him a bit more, because I know they're going to want to throw the ball around. Like, it's just the way they play. If he does what he wants out of those players and just keeps that defensive line where they're supposed to be, they're not going to find a way through, are they? It's when players start sneaking out the line, that's where they find the gaps. Just keep them in line where they're supposed to be. They're not going anywhere.
Sitting it. That's exactly it. I mean, again, looking through their squad, we've got to be on our A game, and they've got to have an off day. And if we stick to our structures and sort of try some bully boy tactics, I think we'll get every chance. You know, I mean, just before we wrap up, then predictions for the first test, obviously at Wembley. I think we're going to have to get us win under our belt there.
Yeah.
I think if we lose, the first game, it could get away from us. I mean, Jordan, will come to you first, mate. England, Australia, first time in 22 years in terms of the Ashes. Wembley Stadium, 70,000 capacity, which is looking likely it's not going to be far off the capacity. How does this one end, mate?
I think this is his best chance of the three games. I also think it sets the platform for the three games. I think if we show up and play fantastic, it could go well for us in the test. Whether we win the test series, I don't know, but it could go well for us. So I think it's going to be a dogfight first game. I think it's going to be a tight game. I don't think it's going to be loads of tries. I'm going to say, I reckon 16-12 Australia.
I think
I'm going to go the same scoreline, but the other way around.
I like that, Gaz. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
I think if we get a wet track, I think that will favour us.
Yeah. Hopefully.
Get a wet track. I think that will favour us.
I think we're going to be in the game all game. And then I feel like they're going to wake up in second half. Maybe they're going to start playing. I think they're going to be in the game all game, but I think we're going to kind of have them a little bit in the first half, dogfight sort of thing. Probably lead most of the game, and then I reckon they'll wake up in second half and start playing. And I reckon they'll just nip us at last 15 minutes. I reckon they'll nip us.
Two words. I'm going to say that is going to win us this game on Saturday, because we need to slow the ruck down. We need to be keeping them down. Those two words are Liam and Mo.
Well, that was another thing that's been announced today, and he's going to be officiating the first test. I mean, in terms of my sort of score result, I think if we get a wet track and we give them a bit of a culture shock, I think we can do them at 18 points to 10. That's my prediction. So we're keeping it positive. It's two wins to Jordan, one loss. What is for sure is we'll be back again next week to discuss that game.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed, Gaz.
Aye, fingers crossed. So I think we'll wrap that up there now, and we'll see how the game goes. So big thanks for all the support, all the comments, the views, the shares, and all that. Keep doing it. Big thank you to Acorn Joinery Leeds for sponsoring, and we'll be back, and hopefully Jordan's favourite back next week, the Bad Lads Corner. Someone's bound to be in a bit of trouble, aren't they?
Yeah.
All right then. So we will see you all again, and hopefully we'll be smiling next week.